Hi, it's Nikki and welcome back to Live a Little, your cozy corner of the internet where we discuss all of the in-between parts of life, the messy, honest and unfiltered parts where you might not have someone to chat about them with, but here we do it all judgment-free. Today I'm joined with someone I absolutely love. She's an author, body positive activist, presenter, and honestly the friend and sister that I feel like we all need, especially in today's day and age. I'm here with jayne.
So happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you. Genuinely, when I was pondering and thinking about different people I wanted on Live a Little, you were instantly at the top of the list. Like, I just love you. And I have spoken a lot on Live a Little recently about how obviously social media is an endless place, and the more that we are on it, even though it's our jobs, the more we need to kind of create that safe space that we can when we go on it, so that it doesn't feel fear-mongering and as comparative or as negative. And whenever I think of people that are that space for me, especially online, you are so one of them.
Oh, bless you.
Truly,
I
like
appreciate that.
I love you, and I think everything you do is just incredible. And when I was writing your questions and just like thinking about things I wanted to talk about, I was like, where do I start? I have so many things I want to talk to you about. I guess I just want to start with, we were kind of talking about it before we started rolling, but how are you feeling? If this was a therapy scale of 1 to 10, what are you feeling like? Really sad face, really happy face, what anger face? What are you feeling?
I think I'm maybe somewhere in the middle, maybe slight smile.
Yeah.
I think I am okay. However, the state of the world.
Oh my God.
Is it like, can you really say that you're okay when it feels like
No.
most days the world is crumbling
Yeah.
and you're just one powerless little person?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's a balancing act. I feel like it's all a balancing act. You have to take care of yourself within the world to have any kind of positive impact.
So true.
You have to keep existing
So true.
regardless of what is happening.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm on the tightrope a little bit, just trying to balance.
It's so hard, isn't it? Especially I think when we try and use our voice as much as we can for good. I think it's when there's just kind of this issue in the world, there's so many bigger than you. It's so hard to know what to say or what to do. I mean, for everyone, but especially when I think sometimes people look to you for like a voice of reason or like to kind of speak about things, and you're just kind of feel so powerless. Of course, we will share things and we will speak about them and try and make them bigger than they are as much as we can with our platform. But I think it's so hard to try and be a mouthpiece when you actually don't even know it's an issue so much bigger than you.
100%. And I think in the past I have felt massive amounts of pressure to always say the right thing and give the right resources, and like, this is the 5-step plan as to how we all make everything okay again. And it is so much bigger than that. I think right now I'm in a place where I do want to speak out more, but with permission to not speak out perfectly.
Definitely.
Like, I literally did a very political post just last week.
Yeah.
And there are people underneath it who have, corrected me because I said this or that slightly wrong. And I'm like, that's okay. At least I spoke. Like,
exactly that. I think that sometimes it is people have such a fear to say the wrong thing. Because nothing is black and white. Of course, there is a right and wrong with a lot of the things going on. Clearly, there is so much to everything going on that I think sometimes people get so scared about saying the wrong thing or saying that something that they feel like is going to get misconstrued and therefore be cancelled for it, when they're just actually trying to speak up and their intentions are well-meaning.
100%.
It can be so difficult, and there's always going to be different types of followers who have different beliefs, and you actually can't please everyone. But I think if you can stand true in like knowing what your values are and knowing what right and wrong is clearly and blatantly, I feel like that is what you kind of have to try and lead with. But it's so hard.
And I think, unfortunately, for those of us who lean on the left, are more liberal, a lot of our circles can be more critical, more judgmental. They do expect perfection. And I think when people feel quite powerless about the bigger issues, some people find a sense of being in power by correcting others and by nitpicking and by doing, well, what about ism? What about this? What about that? And we need to realize that actually that's not helping anyone.
Not at all.
That's not moving the needle at all. That is literally just making us smaller and more afraid, and people don't want to speak up.
Totally.
Whereas if you look to the right and the Trump supporters of the world, they can get away with saying Absolutely.
everything. Yeah.
It's like, come along with us.
Yeah.
You've got a place.
Yeah.
Speak up.
Exactly.
We need to do a hell of a lot better of being supportive and welcoming
Definitely.
and allowing learning.
Because I think there is so much misinformation out there as well about everything. That is the downside of social media, is literally anyone can have an opinion. You can say anything and it can be construed as true. That's the problem. There's no fact checking anywhere. And I think that's a very slippery slope, because then if you're not kind of trying to be supportive and like educate, it's even in our world of body positivity and body image and also disability and facial difference, you kind of have to welcome people maybe not knowing the right thing to say or saying the wrong thing in order to educate them and enlighten them.
Yeah, and I never mind, like, if someone is in my comment section and they've said, I'm not trying to be offensive.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely wondering,
Yeah.
can you explain this to me? Yeah, of course I
Totally.
can. Because you can't expect people to know what you know. Like,
Exactly.
you can't know something until someone teaches you it.
Yeah.
So fine. Not every time, because we do need to conserve our energy sometimes. But we need to be more open to those kind of people as well.
Yeah, I'm the exact same. I get a lot of like, sorry to ask. It's like, no, I have no problem with you asking. The way people can word things can make or break how you take that.
And it's hard to tell as well. Like, you can't tell tone in an Instagram comment.
No, not at all. I feel like our audiences have such a kind of deep connection with us based on the things we talk about and the communities we've created, and people feeling seen and heard, and more of a family than it is like, oh, she's beautiful and I like aspire to look like her. It's completely different. It's a lot deeper and more meaningful.
For sure.
How do you create that boundary of like, you are my family and I love you guys, but also I have an out of social media life and, you know, mental health that needs to be priority offline as well?
It's difficult. Sometimes I feel like people who have a persona online probably have an easier time with these boundaries.
Yeah.
Because like, you show up, you act out this version of you that's not really you.
Yeah, exactly.
If you try, like we do, to be authentic, to show up as your whole self, it can get a bit stickier, because, you know, you have these parasocial relationships. People really feel like they know you. And also you want them to feel that, and you want to know that you care about them.
Exactly.
It's tricky. It would be a lot easier to care less.
Yeah. Yeah, but how do we do that? We can't.
We can't.
Because
Because it's not our purpose for showing up, right?
No.
It's not why we started it. We didn't go into this thinking, I'm going to make a load of money.
Oh my God, complete opposite.
I'm going to be so shiny and perfect on the like, that's not.
All the external benefit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is not the reason for showing up. And we don't need any more influencers like that.
No, not
Let's
at
be
all.
clear.
Not at all. There's already too many. Thank you very much.
We don't need any more. And I think in terms of setting the boundary, I actually do think that the majority of people who follow you, and I think this is the same for you, who follow you and really do care about you as a person, want you to have boundaries.
I agree.
They want you to protect your well-being, step away when you need to. Like, I've had so many messages in the past being like, hi, I've noticed you haven't been around for a while, but I hope that means you're taking care of yourself.
Totally.
And take as long as you need.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
I've had the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's it. I've had times where I've apologized and been like, I'm sorry that I haven't been posting or I haven't been active or replying to you. And everyone is always, the people that care and are well-meaning, have followed your journey, are always saying, we hope you're okay.
Yes.
Take the time that you need.
Yeah.
And that's where you can tell a difference between like a genuine follower and someone that you kind of see as like an extension of family that has kind of been around for your journey.
Right.
And the opposite. I do find it hard though. I've been sometimes just, like the other week I was in Lush just doing some shopping with some of my friends, and I had a couple of people recognize me, and a girl, I think she was probably about 14, coming up to me shaking and saying like, I'm the reason that she's alive. And that's when you're like, I'm so glad that you are here and that I could be that outlet for you. But equally, my friends were kind of, after I'd hugged her and, you know, made sure she was okay and thanked her and spoken to her, my friends just said, Nikki, that's actually an insane pressure to have.
Yeah.
It is a pressure that we do hold, especially being in this industry and doing the type of work and sharing that we do. It's different.
It's beautiful and it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's really heavy.
Yeah.
Because I think ultimately in those moments, and maybe what those people don't realize is, it's not about you, the person, the human, Nikki, real Nikki. You are a representation. You are a figure, something that they project all of their pain and all of their hopes onto. And that's a really powerful thing. It's amazing that you can be that, but there has to be a level of separation between like, okay, that's Nikki the figure, Nikki the human.
Yeah.
that's a wild thing for a human to hold, right?
Yeah, because then so it's then that idea of, okay, so if I do go away for 5 days, you're gonna then not want to be here anymore.
Right. And that's too much. That's too much for any one person, let alone a young person.
Especially someone that you don't, it's that parasocial thing of like, I've probably maybe seen your name in my comments or my DMs, but I don't know you.
Yeah.
And so to then have that weight on your shoulders of, I'm the make or break of you being here, and of course it's probably hyperbolized. I hope there's other things, people's lives as well, that make them feel like staying, but it is that kind of slippery slope, I think, when you are just trying to navigate life and post and make even the smallest drop in the ocean impact that you can.
Yeah.
And then you have people coming to you because it's beautiful, they think they can share and they do feel safe and they do feel comfortable. But it's so hard to draw that boundary. That's why I always think about actors or actresses and how a lot of them actually enjoy that they can escape from themselves. And of course, there's like a lot to unpick there. But I do feel like the fact that I guess online I'm seen as Nikki Lilly, and in person I'm more known as Nikki, that it's like almost you have to have that little bit of space in order to feel like I can hang this up when I can.
Yeah.
When I first met you, you were Body Posy Panda.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, how did that start? And obviously now you're not Body Posy Panda online.
Yes.
So I'd love to know like where Body Posy Panda came from, but also what made you decide to switch into your actual name?
Well, Body Posy Panda was indicative of what I did. Like, I was the body positivity girl.
Yeah.
And that's all I posted about every single day for many, 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 many years. And that's what people knew me as. And that was wonderful for a time, because for a time it was all I thought about, because I had so much healing to do, and I'd been through my eating disorder, and body positivity, learning about it really did save me. Learning about diet culture and the diet industry and fat phobia, and why we are so trained to hate our bodies. And it was literally just, as I was learning it, I was sharing it. It was my diary. It was my oversharing
journey.
Exactly. So that suited me for a long time. But I think as the movement of body positivity grew, of course, the pressure of being the body positivity girl,
the mouthpiece,
and representing everyone, and again, always saying the right thing and getting all the facts every single time. And it became an unbearable pressure where I was scared. I was scared to look at my phone. I was scared to go on the internet. Like, every single post I would overthink for hours and hours. I would spend an entire day thinking, what do I post today? Writing it, rewriting it, questioning it.
It's honestly paralyzing.
Truly, it really is. And I had sacrificed my sanity to this thing that had started because it helped me and it helped other people. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to help other people to be free from this thing. And I'd ended up unwell in a different way. I'd traded in my well-being in a different way. And I just could not do it anymore. And the releasing of that name, even though it seems like a small thing.
No, it kind of was your identity that far. You know?
It was symbolic. It was really symbolic of, no, I am going to allow myself to be a whole, full human being, flawed, imperfect, don't know everything. This is the actual real life person. And then I kind of felt it again, even like a couple of years ago, when I got rid of my colourful hair.
Oh, yeah.
Because I had rainbow colourful hair
for
so long.
Purple, and pink, colours,
Again, that was like part of the brand.
Yeah.
And so when I stripped that back as well, it was another layer of, no, I'm actually just a human. And I'm not going to be the projection that other people want me to be anymore.
100%.
And it has been really freeing. Don't get me wrong. It's been terrible for my engagement.
Oh, has it? I was going to ask you, what's going on here?
The more myself I am online, the less likable I am online. Unfortunately. Before, I was in my niche. I was this colourful character. I was more clickbait, feel like worthy, speaking more in sound bites. And I think particularly as a woman online, when you allow yourself more nuance, you get more complicated, you get more unapologetic in who you are, and you stop performing as much. That's what I've been doing for many years. I've just been stripping away layers of performance. And so for the masses, that does make you less engaging. That does make you less click-worthy and less likable. But for the smaller number, that's who like you even more.
Yeah, completely.
Then you narrow down your audience to, sure, I'm not pleasing everybody, but the people who are here now, they're seeing the real me.
And they're here to stay.
And that's worth gold. That's community.
100%. Unfortunately and ultimately, our job kind of is all around numbers, whether we like it or not. It is. It's also our livelihood. And so it's so easy to, though we say like, oh, you know, it's not about that, there is an element where it has to be about that. And so I think it is so important to remember the internal reasoning of why we do this job. I don't know about you, but I feel very lost when I don't feel like I kind of have a, maybe it's because of what I've been through, but when I don't have like a sense of purpose or like a sense of just like fulfillment that is completely internal.
Big time.
And I feel like that is something that is an internal fulfillment. And followers are what they are, you know, engagement is what it is. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we aren't when we're going to be 90 and, you know, say, oh, I'm so glad I had 9,000 this or 9 million.
Right.
It's going to mean fuck all. It is. And so I think what I've learned more than anything is like what's ethical and what is right and what feels fulfilling. I mean, like transcends everything.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I think we are so like lucky and privileged to be in a position where we can be true to ourselves.
And pick and choose. Yeah. I would love to just go all the way back to what you were like before social media and when you were just Megan and the people in your real life just kind of knew you. So you've spoken so candidly and beautifully about your journey with your body and from how at just 5 years old you were already aware of what it meant to be aware of your body and worried about your body and also comparing your body to others. What was that time in your life like, I guess, especially as a teenager?
My teenage years could probably be summed up as a desperation to make myself as small and palatable as possible. As soon as I kind of clocked, okay, I am a girl, and to be a successful girl in this world is to be pretty, is to be thin, is to be obedient, is to be intelligent, successful, all these many, many rules that we receive throughout the culture as girls. This is how you be a good girl. I very much internalized all of them and started the project of chipping away at myself, shrinking myself, molding myself to be what I thought was this perfect girl and then going into this perfect woman. So it was a lot of self-hatred, a never-ending feeling of not being enough, and always this sense of, but I can change it. I can work hard enough and I can change and I can be good enough and I can fix myself. And it was never looking out at the world and at the culture and saying, hang on a minute, these expectations are unfair. These aren't right. These don't fit me. It was always, I'm the problem.
You're the problem.
And I can fix. And there's a sense of control in that, right? Because if you make yourself the problem, then you have the illusion you can fix the problem. Of course. But it's never enough. You can never fix it enough. And even if you get close, then suddenly it shifts. And there's a new expectation. And there's something else.
And also I think you feel like when you reach that thing, you will feel fulfilled and it's like you feel like you'll get to this new game level and you'll be like, yes, I feel fulfilled now, I'm happy. And you get there. I found that a lot with when I had my eating disorder weights on a scale. I was like, no, when I get to this amount of kilograms, I will be happy. This is what I need and that will fix everything in my life. You get there and then it's like, oh, okay, pat on the back, but what's next?
It's a trick.
And that's when you realize that you are not controlling anything. It is controlling you.
Absolutely.
And I think it's so crazy when I think you said you were 10 when you first started kind of having disordered eating habits and then 13 when you got told you actually had anorexia. I was 10 when I was told that I was anorexic.
Wow.
Again, I think people have this misconception that it's often later in life that people get eating disorders. And of course, they can take so many different shapes and forms, all have their own issues, all are valid. But I think it's so interesting and also saddening how young you can be for this kind of warped mentality to just take over. What do you feel like, especially with, say, Gen Z versus maybe millennials and Gen X? What do you feel like, or if any, is there a difference in either how they perceive their bodies or just the conversation or the pressures?
I think everything has just gotten more and more extreme. It was hard enough when I was growing up without social media. It was hard enough having, diet talk everywhere and
Yeah.
slim fast adverts and Photoshop magazines and no representation on your TV. You know, these things all existed, and that was pretty brutal on body image growing up. But now all these extra layers and this inescapability where literally everywhere you go, you have the pressures and you have the edited images, and you have the diet culture masquerading as wellness.
Yes.
It's inescapable, and I think it's terrifying. And I think the reason why I said it seems more extreme is because I do think there are a portion, like there's a good section of younger people who have clocked onto diet culture, who have tapped out, who are clued in, who are absolutely not having it. But then on the other side, there's also this massive swell of young people who are more glued to it than ever. And who believe more than ever that their value is in their appearance. And they have to chase this image of beauty at any cost necessary.
I got a question recently about beauty standards and how I feel they've changed. And I do feel like there is something really difficult with the fact that people believe social media is real life. And so if you see just someone in a video that seems aesthetically perfect in the stereotype that you're trying to attain, you perceive that to be so much more true and real than, say, if you saw, I don't know, an actor on a screen or someone posing on a magazine. Of course, those things have the exact same impact. But I do feel like there's something to do with the fact that from the click of a button, you're seeing these people that you feel like you know and are just living their lives, even though there's a filter on there. They could edit whatever they want. It is not reality. It's not even the 1%.
No.
That's probably been posed for so many times, and you don't know what's happened. Editing these days is so easy and is so, you know, realistic that I think your brain even more warps that to be true.
It's difficult because as content creators, I don't think individually we feel enough responsibility for the impact of what our content is having and what we're trying to say. You know, every time I make something, I ask myself, what is the purpose of this? What impact am I going to have? What am I trying to say here? And if I can't think of anything beneficial that would help people, that is good, why would I create it?
Totally.
And so much of the influencer industry is not based in that. It's not based in good intention. It's not based in trying to help. It is based in, let me show you all the ways that I am better than you, that I am aspirational, that I have more money, that I am more beautiful, even if I have to fake it, even if I have to lie about it and edit all these things. Look how much better I am. It's ego serving.
100%.
It is egocentric, and it is all about the fulfillment of the self over the betterment of the society.
Yes.
And that is where we are going so wrong. And we should be feeling way more responsibility, and frankly we should be feeling a bit embarrassed if all we're doing is serving the self and the ego
and just selling. It's like everything is, you know, trying to sell someone something to make them look better.
Correct.
Like in whatever way it is, or even if it's like not, even if it's makeup, it's not makeup. Oh, it's hair. If it's not hair, it's shapewear. There is just always something to be sold to try and make people buy into their insecurities.
And it's never as good as they're saying.
Of course not.
Never. Like there is no magical product.
No.
There is no one thing that's going to change your life. It's all the same shit, rebranded, repackaged, resold again.
Exactly. But it's just the only thing that changes is like, oh no, these are the new insecurities of this time.
Correct.
So now let's try and tailor to that, which is insane. And I also feel like if you look at, I guess, who are the it people today, or the most, you know, famous celebrities today, all of them have something that is aspirational, that is unattainable. I couldn't name one public figure that people would look up to and is massive in pop culture that is preaching about body positivity or to be your best self. I personally can't think of one.
Very few now.
Yeah.
Because we've had that backslide, right, in recent years.
We have.
There were a handful.
I can't.
I know. And now we've gone and backslid backwards.
What's it been like watching that backslide?
Just really disheartening. There's no other word for it.
Yeah.
There's no other word for it. That's it.
Again, it's such a big issue.
Yeah.
Like we said, it's such a big thing, and you can do your bit and you can try and foster a positive and safe space in the way that you can on your online world and for others. Try to be that. But it's such a big issue that it's only like the policymakers and like the runners and people in charge of countries that can actually do something, but just don't get to.
If I'm being honest with you, Nikki, like I probably have blamed myself more than I should have, because I've thought to myself, well, I kind of took a step back from body positivity. I stopped being body posy panda. Maybe if I'd have kept at it and if I'd kept up the pace, I could have done more to stop this backslide and kept up the momentum a bit more. But then I think to myself, I'm only one person, and I was
It's not your
exhausted.
job.
Yeah,
It truly is not your job,
I
and
had nothing else to give, man.
you're doing the best you can. And if you're completely empty, then you can't even give anything. You can't even try and support other people and do your bit, because then you have nothing else to give, like you said. And it's also just, we can do our bit to the best we can, but if we're trying to fulfill and validate and make a difference everywhere then but in ourselves, that's never going to end well.
No. And body positivity still exists.
Yeah,
there's still
100%.
people representing, and
Yeah.
the message is still out there. And also, I think it's an interesting thing that what this time has gone to show is, I guess, who and what brands, etc., who were doing it for the bandwagon, who were jumping on the trend,
DEI,
and who genuinely had changed their belief system, and who really, really believed in what they were saying. We've seen through it now. We've seen it all. So what we can't do is, when the pendulum swings back, we can't go back to them.
No, and that's what's been really disheartening, is there's some brands that I've worked with and then I've looked at who've pulled out, and or just not seen it as something they need to now do, and it is, it's a little bit of a gut punch, to say the least.
It's horrible. My girlfriend works in DEI, and she does workshops like with countries all over the world, and there are certain workshops she now does. She's not allowed to say the word diversity. It's no longer allowed. So she has to use these other words, like
what other words?
Belonging.
No, you're joking.
Welcoming, instead of diversity and inclusion, because it's just not paying for that. That's America. That's Trump's America.
100%. What? I'm literally gobsmacked. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like people that don't believe in inclusion and everyone feeling seen and heard and equal feel like we are asking to be put on this pedestal, and we're asking for more than literally what they're just living.
Yeah. Just represent the world as it is.
Crazy. Yeah. That's what I just find like unthinkable, and just like, we're not asking for you to move mountains for us. We are literally just asking for equality. Like, that is it.
And it's that classic thing, isn't it, of when you have been the center of the universe for so long, being asked to take a step to the side feels like oppression.
Yeah.
And it's really not.
Yeah.
It's just,
you have the space anyway.
Yeah. Budget
There's
a little
space
bit
for everyone. Like, and that is, I think, what's so difficult is, I think, in terms of, say, people hiring people for jobs, by all means hire the right person for the job, of course, but also factor in, wait, if there's only one type of person being reflected in the workplace, then how do we know that other people are also going to want to use the product, and also don't have different thoughts and perspectives and life experiences and variables that play into also more like rich and meaningful conversations?
Yep.
Like, this is what is actually beneficial for you, if anything. It's like, yeah, I mean, we could talk about this topic for so long, right, and we will. One of those things where it's so easy to get so caught up in what is not being done, and how we could always do more and feel like we need to do more, but it's a pressure that we just like can't only place on our shoulders, and it's so hard to not do that, but it's something so much bigger than us. So I think it's like, if we can just try and do what we can that also doesn't burn us out and doesn't negatively impact us.
Yeah, we need to support each other better.
Yeah.
The people who genuinely are trying to do good and progress movements, especially within our industry. It's so competitive, and it can be so backstabby, gossipy, hard to trust anyone.
No sunshine, no rainbows at times. Yeah.
No community.
No community.
No community a lot of the time. It looks like it is from the outside, but it doesn't feel like it is from the inside. And I think, even speaking for myself, we can all do a better job of lifting each other up and amplifying each other and acting like we are a community, rather than fighting each other for scraps of engagement. And we're not going to win long term.
And jobs and everything. It's hard to, I think, sometimes to believe people actually are happy for you. Sometimes you feel awkward being like, oh, I'm doing this, or because you're scared of how it will be received.
Feel guilty?
You do feel guilty.
For sure.
With that being said, obviously you have been on your body positivity and just journey in relationship with your body for a long old time now, as we all have, and it's a constant thing. It's not like you suddenly get to this place and you're like, I'm content, I'm happy, I never have a negative thought about my body. How would you say the meaning of body positivity has changed to you since the start of your journey and now? I mean, at the beginning, you probably didn't, it wasn't even a thing in your life.
For me, I've always recognized that body positivity has to have 2 layers to it.
Yeah.
It has to have the personal, how you feel, your personal body image, and it has to have the wider cultural, political, what is the world teaching us about bodies?
Yeah.
And the belief systems that we have around which bodies are worth more than others. So that's recognizing fat phobia, racism, transphobia, all of the isms and phobias.
So true.
And these 2 things have to come together, because if you solely focus on the personal, you get this light, fluffy, commercialized, like more commercially successful version of body positivity. A lot of people would say that's the reason why the movement wasn't strong enough, because we were just focusing on that shallow level, the personal. Don't get me wrong, the personal can be devastating. I know full well how deeply the personal impacts humans' potential and how they engage in the world. It is important. We have to talk about body image, really significant.
Yeah.
However, if you do it without the other side, you're not going big enough. It can't just be about bodies like yours. And that's something that I have tried to preach so hard over the years, especially because I am in this body of privilege in a lot of ways. And I have always tried to say, it is not just about bodies like mine. I'm not just doing this for people who look like me or people who look closer to the beauty ideal than me. This is for genuinely all bodies. This is about respect for all bodies. Let's treat all bodies better. That's how we work on this as a society.
I think it's even in terms of eating disorders. I feel like people have such like a one-track mind with like, this is a justified eating disorder when you start to lose weight, and it's like, that's an actual eating disorder. But it's such a spectrum. There's so many issues with each one that sometimes just in body image in general, and especially when you're in your eating disorder journey, there can be so much invalidation as well.
Big time. And so much praise.
Exactly.
As well. If you are in a larger body and you adopt disordered eating, you will be praised for your dedication and your commitment. And it's like, okay, well, those same behaviors in someone smaller is what, warrants hospitalization. So what's going on here?
I was threatened to be an impatient, and I know you were an impatient, and it's so true that it was kind of like the threat was because of the size I was, and that was kind of the main thing, versus it's probably rare, and I was seen quickly because of the size and the weight I was. But someone could be going through all of the same things, but just because they don't meet a BMI quota of threat to themselves, they won't be given the same time or the same kind of sped up journey to treatment.
And that's a complete misunderstanding of the fact that it's a mental illness.
Yes.
It's a mental illness with
not
physical
choice.
side effects.
Yeah.
Right? The physical is not the be all and end all. It's a potential side effect.
Yeah.
But what we really should be recognizing and treating is what is going on in the mind, the relationship with food, the relationship with body and exercise, and where that stems from. Why do we have these coping mechanisms? Because that's what eating disorders are. They are coping mechanisms for really difficult, uncomfortable, horrible feelings that we don't know how to deal with. And if we keep making it about bodies and weights, we are completely missing the actual real causal issues, and we're never going to get better.
There's so many misconceptions about eating disorders just being all aesthetic, and it's kind of like a choice we make, and then it goes a bit wrong. It's like it's so dangerous, and it's a real issue. And the misconception, is that, one, I think we can just pull ourselves out of it if we choose. I mean, I think especially, I'd say eating disorders is one of the hardest things to comprehend by someone that does not have that part of their brain. I found that a lot with, my family tried their best, but I think especially my dad was kind of just like, why can't you just eat? Like, I don't understand. I think that's when it's so difficult to, I don't know, I guess in your especially recovery journey, feel seen and feel heard. And I've had so much shame when I had my eating disorder, not really from my family or people around me, but even just, I'd say it's only even in the last year I've actually spoken about it online, because it kind of felt like I've spoken about every facet of my life, but this like one thing that I couldn't get through that got me. And so much of it also comes from control. It isn't that aesthetic thing. For me, it was, I had no control over my body, and numbers on a scale were tangible. It was a literal measurement that I could control.
Yeah.
I didn't have control over my appearance, but I could kind of try and grab onto like how thin I looked in the mirror. And I think that is what people don't understand, is that a lot of the time an eating disorder is, of course, it can come from comments that are made, and also we've all had that family member make a comment that was really not well received and out of pocket, or grown up with family members just having weighing scales in the bathroom that are there. But so much of it, I do believe, just comes from that need to have stability in your life and like an element of safety and something that is yours and you have like control over.
Yeah.
But the problem becomes that your world, just like you said, it shrinks and it shrinks and it shrinks even more, to the point where the only thing that consumes you is the thought of food and the lack of food you're consuming, or whatever else it may be in terms of the world of eating disorders. And I think that's what's so hard to unlearn, is that you think it's this thing that you have, but it really isn't. It makes you feel like this friend. It's like your friend. And it's like, well done. And this kind of really like dark like appraisal when you get to this stage. And then it's like, okay, now let's get here. It's like this two-faced friend on your shoulder that's actually just making your life a lot worse and a lot smaller.
It's just destroying you, and you don't even realize a lot of the time until you get that brutal wake-up call. The body is such a convenient scapegoat for so many difficult feelings, for feeling out of control, for the world being a mess, for family issues, whatever it is. The body, because it's right here, we're always with it, we have constant access to it. It's such a convenient thing to turn into the problem, to feel that we can control and that we're doing something, we're exerting some sense of power when we feel powerless in some ways. So it makes complete sense. It makes complete sense to me that we get hooked on dieting, we get hooked on the beauty standard, we fall into eating disorders. Obviously, this is the easiest thing in our lives for us to harm. In a way that feels like we're doing something good.
And we're not harming others.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you and I are the same in that way. Like, it's always been inward. It's always been point the blame inwards.
Self-hatred.
Self-hatred. Don't project out onto others, which, and that is the case especially amongst women, I will say, because we're not supposed to be angry, right? We're not supposed to point blame or make a fuss or be impolite, or so we absorb it all, we turn it all,
but also, you know, just deal with it.
And
all that it's bubbling under
and we end up destroying ourselves, just eating away at ourselves. And it's so interesting because even when you look at you know, chronic illnesses, there are certain chronic illnesses that women get in way bigger numbers than men, and it can be tracked back to who has suppressed all of their anger, not shown their emotions, who's, you know, the caregiver who gives too much, the people pleaser, not honoring your own needs. You literally make yourself ill in mental, physical, in all of the ways.
Suppress. It's what we've been taught, and it's what, especially for me, I felt like such a burden in life with all that kind of my parents had to do for me, or my family had to kind of adapt for me, that with my eating disorder, I knew, even though I was so young, I'd seen portrayals of it, but I also didn't want to say, I think I have a problem, because I was like, I'm enough of a problem. I will just continue dealing with this. I will continue kind of just like burying this, and maybe it isn't an issue, and maybe I've just kind of like tricked myself into thinking I've got a problem, but I don't feel like this is normal. And I do feel like this, I mean, surely people aren't just dealing with like, oh no, I'm going to not eat lunch today, and then I'm going to, you know, do this or do that, and all of these habits. Like, I haven't seen other people do this, but maybe it is normal and I just don't know about it. But for I feel like such a long time, because I had this kind of like people pleasing thing of like, I don't want to be even more of a problem than I already feel like, and that kind of guilt in that I feel like I probably could have got help a lot earlier than I did, but I was just worried to even kind of label myself with something, when also I felt like I'd had so many labels and issues placed onto me.
But that is such a heartbreaking statement of, I felt like I was enough of a problem already. Babe, you were 10 years old. You never should have felt like that. Like, none of us should ever have felt like that.
And the thing is, it's not even like, I have an incredible family. If there's one thing that I do have, it's my family unit is so strong. And if we don't have anything, your support network can be your everything. but it doesn't change. I think it was the facts of life. I was like, well, I am making my family's life harder, so this is another thing.
Right.
How did you find your recovery journey and getting onto that kind of train of like trying to move towards genuinely treating your body as your home? Like, how was that in terms of your relationships with others, just in general, your kind of treatment?
Honestly, my recovery was spurred by similar feelings to what you've just discussed. It was, I cannot cause my family any more of this pain and these issues. I can't do it anymore. I have to get better just so I can stop being an issue and harming others. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. It wasn't because I, was recovered and thought I had worth and had healed anything. I had not healed a thing. I forced myself into recovery, and I kept going until I could say, okay, at least I'm not being that much of a problem to my family anymore.
Wow.
And of course, because I wasn't really healed, the internal issues kept going, like the body image issues and the mental health issues were still all there. I'd just been, written off as like, cool, she's recovered.
Just because the treatment's done, all the work actually comes after.
Truly, it really, really does. And it's taken such a long time. And I still learn things now. I still realize things now. There are still behaviors that I spot, not eating disorder behaviors, but self-destructive behaviors.
Me too.
Self-harming behaviors. And I'm like, oh, this goes back to that same issue of me believing that I'm the problem. And the problem can be solved. So like you said, it's lifelong. It's lifelong.
And it really is a process. And even I personally don't feel like you can ever truly be recovered from an eating disorder. As in, of course, it's not like you're in the thick of it. And I wouldn't now call myself anorexic because I'm not. But I do feel like I still have these kind of parts in my mind where I'm like, I don't really want to eat this because I know it won't make me feel good after. Or if I feel like my chronic illness is kind of worse, I instantly kind of retreat back into like a little bit more of like I don't want to eat that, or like, I just won't eat in like a punishment way.
Right.
Because that is, I feel like, what so much of it's kind of like this warped addiction in a way where like you need something to feel like it's giving you stability, and it's this one thing that you have. And so when kind of stuff can be taken from under you and you feel like you lose that sense of stability, it's like, okay, well, at least I have this kind of dark friend from my past.
Yes, this old coping mechanism that I can lean on. I hear that. I do say that I'm like recovered, and I do believe in fully recovered, but am I recovered from all mental health, self-esteem issues? No. These things, they're so slippery, and they can transform into different issues and new things, new ways that they show up. And that's what I continuously am working on and doing the work.
Completely. So with having not the most easy linear journey, to say the least, with your body, how have you got to a place where you have true compassion for your body? And of course, it's not easy and it changes every day. But I guess, how have you got to this place, and when did you feel in your journey you could truly say, I love and appreciate and accept the body I'm in and want to be kind to it?
I think my most significant turning point, honestly, was learning about diet culture, all the ways in which we are set up, especially as women, to hate our bodies, learning about the fact that it is bigger than me, that it is not me, individual, the problem, it is big cultural, societal problem. And I am just, I've been acting as I've been taught to act. I've been feeling as I've been taught to feel. I've been conditioned. We all are.
Set up to fail, essentially.
Set up to fail and to hate ourselves in every way, and especially our bodies, because ... it's profitable. It makes a hell of a lot of money when we believe we're not good enough, when we will buy any product promising to make us good enough. And this has all happened within the last 150 years in history.
So long. It's so much longer and bigger than us even being here.
Truly. And it's a setup. And once I learned that, I think that put in place the tools for me to forgive myself a little bit and to let go of a lot of the blame that I was carrying around. If I just worked harder, if I just dieted more, if I just saved up and got this or that surgery, then it would all be better. Actually, no, it's not my fault. It's not my fault that I feel this way. It's not all the things that I've been through with my body. I didn't choose this. I should not be holding this against myself. That's where the compassion comes in, and the forgiveness of the self, and the recognition that the blame lies outside of you, I think is so, so crucial. So that came from reading. That came from listening to podcasts, like learning about these things. And also, I think what's so important for so many reasons, especially for women, is that sense of righteous anger that things are fucked up and should not be this way.
100%.
If we can latch onto that, that is so powerful. Anger is this propelling energy. It moves us. It can power us into changing how we see ourselves and the world. And we've been taught for so long to suppress it,
And
to not be angry. It's a problem. Push it down. Don't be ugly. Don't be loud. Don't be brash. But if we can latch into it for our own benefit, we can change our lives. And so being angry, not at myself, being angry at the systems, being angry at the big companies, at the billionaires, at the ones who
the actual people that can change things.
Exactly. And the ones who have put this system in place for us all to feel like we're not good enough and to hate ourselves for our entire lives.
Yes.
Fuck you.
Yeah, complete fuck you.
And that is always a better option than taking out on yourself.
You've said that so well. If you could relive that season of your life where these thoughts kind of started, what is the one, you've kind of said it, but what is, you could tell her one sentence and just sit her down and look at her, what would be that one thing you tell her?
I would say you're not the problem. You're not the problem. You never were. All these things that you're feeling, they actually make complete sense. Look at the world that we live in. Of course you feel this way. Of course you feel not good enough. Of course you're scared to grow up. Of course you think that being a woman is going to be overwhelming. It is. It is set up to be that way. It makes complete sense that you need to find ways to cope with that you are blaming yourself. Look around you. You are not the problem here. And maybe we can't fix the whole problem because it is so much bigger than us. But we can refuse to take it out on ourselves, and we can start the work to making the world better by how we treat ourselves.
Especially your world. The world in your head.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And the world in your head deserves to be a soft, kind place, because the world out there is going to be brutal enough. It's going to be hard enough. The one thing you can have for yourself is a soft place to land in your own mind.
And that's the one you hear the most and you're with the most. Yeah, that's beautiful. So with being in a world that is not always kind, or even maybe having relationships with people, whether it's kind of family members or whoever it may be, that maybe are still in the thick of diet culture or kind of disordered habits, or eating, and the way it kind of can sneak into someone's life without them even sort of realizing. And maybe it's not as extreme as an eating disorder, but just kind of habits and things they do or comments they make. How do you hold space for them without kind of becoming like, not the food police, that's the wrong word, but kind of like becoming like, oh no, but this and this as a healed person, but also create that boundary and that space that you don't absorb that?
I think you have to be honest with yourself about where you're at in your healing, because I know for myself, when I was nearer the beginning of recovery or healing from my body image issues, I had to have more boundaries. And I had to shut out all the food talk and the calorie talk and the body shaming conversations. And I had to learn how to say, hey, I'm working on healing this. So can we maybe not talk about how many calories are in something, like, or just change the subject to not talking about people's bodies. And you have to be able to do that for a while. I think where I'm at now is I can start these open dialogues, and if someone makes a certain comment, say, oh, I'm so bad for eating this cookie. you can start a conversation of, why does that make you bad? That's a moral judgment about yourself and about your character and your worth. Like, why do we say these things? Are you bad, or are you just having a cookie and that's okay?
And listen to your body. That's what you wanted.
And you're allowed to have treats and like enjoy food as well. And have those conversations and make it like a learning experience together. And you know what? Sometimes I want to save my energy, and sometimes I ignore it.
It's not your job as well. It isn't your job.
Every single comment. Sometimes you have to conserve your energy, and that's okay too.
Yeah,
that's fine.
100%. No, I completely. That's the thing, isn't it? It's so hard. It's even in times where now some of my friends can even kind of, I can see habits in them where I'm like, this isn't healthy for yourself, and you can try your best to kind of support them and be an outlet for them, but ultimately, again, it's one of those things that they have to go on that journey themselves. You know.
And also sometimes the most powerful thing you can be is an example, and you can show what a healed relationship with food looks like, or with your body, or with movement.
Because I did not think I could get there, and I think when you are in the thick of it, it is so like hard to believe there is a world in which it doesn't consume you. I lost all interest in literally any hobbies because it became my, like, I lived and breathed it.
Yeah.
It is all consuming. So I think it's like, it's also kind of showing them there is a, or even showing myself, I guess, and ourselves, that there is a world in which exists where it doesn't have to be the only thing that you can think about and that kind of defines you as a person and your personality and everything. I lost all interest in the things that I once loved, and my personality kind of changed because it's like you're running on empty.
Yeah.
You aren't able to have the energy, you aren't able to enjoy things or look forward to things because you don't have that capacity to. What are some outlets that you have found through your journey? Because of course a lot of therapy is not fun, like we were just talking about it. I had a bit of a deep therapy session yesterday, and a lot of it isn't easy, and a lot of especially recovery and eating disorder therapy, especially for me, it was a lot of tears, a lot of, oh no, control is going, before you can actually say that no, this is a good thing. So what are some things that are completely not to do with your body or your appearance or anything that helped you on your recovery journey, but also that you just love doing as outlets and safe spaces and things that are completely away from your phone and your body and just allow you to be?
It's all the creative things.
Yeah.
It's all the things that we used to do when we were kids.
Play.
Just because they were fun. Yeah. Playing, creating, making, painting, singing, dancing, make-believe, even playing the PlayStation, man.
100%.
It's just allowing yourself to express and feel good without a focus, like you said, on how you look or even the productivity. Like, what's the worth of this? Can I make content out of this?
That's it.
Can I make this into a product to sell?
Yeah.
We need to be doing things that are not productive, that are not for the outcome, that are just for the joy and the peace and the feeling, because we deserve that.
Yeah.
And we used to have that
Yeah.
when we were young, and we still deserve it.
And also something that we don't need to get external validation from in order to continue it.
Big time.
Yeah.
So something that I'm still to this day working on is keeping up a hobby even if I'm not good at it.
Me. This is what I went for a pottery class a couple of weeks. Well, I've been kind of doing them. I've done 3, and the first one was like so hard. So hard. I was like, oh my God, this is giving, I'm going to like ghosts and I'm going to be able to do this and it's going to be really cool. And I was like, why does this look sexual? Like, why can I not get this into...
Do you make a phallic object?
I mean, initially, yeah. And my pottery, ceramicist was kind of like, okay, let's start again.
And a little
in the right shape for you first. Yeah. And when you feel like everyone else around you can do it and you're horrible. Like, why can't I put this into the shape of a bowl? Why am I struggling so much? I went with a friend and she was swimming and I was like, I can't do this.
You're healing the inner perfectionist.
Yeah.
When you found your worth in being the one who's like good at things. Who can do things really well. Oh, it's brutal.
It is. But I think that's kind of the whole point, is also realizing that you don't need to have an outcome of I think from as early as time, it's that we draw photos to then show our parents, like, look, mom, look, dad, or look, anyone, look what I've done. Yeah. And though, of course, it's nice to share and it's nice to have that, well done, and that validation. Of course, we all need it. If you can't kind of self-validate yourself, even not in terms of your body and your appearance, but in just stuff you're doing, that like, oh, makes me feel good. Okay, if this makes me feel good, why do I need someone to tell me you're really good at this in order to be like, okay, it's worth continuing with?
Right.
Yeah. So that's the play is such like, I really want to kind of start like going through a list of different things that I either used to do or wanted to do that I just stopped. Or when I was younger, I had to stop a lot of things without having a choice to.
Exactly.
But things that like, and some of them I still can't do, but there is some that I can do that I just stopped doing.
Reclaim it, baby.
Yeah, reclaiming, exactly that. I finally wanted to talk about your sister Gemma, who is just a queen. I'm obsessed with her. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about what your relationship with her has meant to you as being someone that has cerebral palsy. What has it meant to you, and what has it kind of, I guess, taught you about life and what actually matters?
Oh my goodness, so much. So yeah, my sister Gemma, she is the oldest sibling. She was born with cerebral palsy, and I have been, I guess, a significant part of her care team for 15 years, longer than I've been doing things on the internet, for sure.
Yeah, that's been your purpose.
Yeah, that's always my my grounding. And for a lot of my online life, as my career was picking up of being a content creator, it did feel quite Hannah Montana. It did feel like this shiny online life, and then I go home to the real life where I take care of Gemma and I'm grounded and I'm in my family. And I'm really thankful for that. I'm really thankful that I had that balance, because otherwise, maybe I would have got caught up in the glitz and glamour and the, highlight.
Up here.
Exactly. Maybe my ego would be through the freaking roof. And I'd be one of those influencers that we talk about not needing any more of. But because I had Gemma and I had that balance, she reminds me of what actually matters, and all the ways that I'm hard on myself about not being productive enough and like not doing enough, not adding enough value. I would never put those things onto her. And societally, she is never going to be productive. She's never going to have a job. These ways that we measure people's worth, she goes against so many of them. And yet I look at her and I see inherent worth. And I see a person who's worthy of good life, who deserves to enjoy themselves, who deserves to feel safe and loved and comforted. And so if I can extend that to her, why the hell can I not extend that to myself and to every other person? So she's taught me so much. She's a pain in the ass sometimes. Like,
aren't all sisters?
She's an unstoppable diva who gets exactly what she wants all the time, and it's infuriating. But I wouldn't change a thing. And my relationship with her is so precious.
Yeah, I can imagine. And especially when you can get so, like we said, so caught up in either what's happening in the world or in ourselves, having people that are just so beautiful and so meaningful and actually are more human than anything. They actually define what it means to be human is so important to, have and to hold true and to remind you. I actually have one more question that I just popped into my head. So we cover everything. Just finally going on to obviously the world of dating. You've spoken about your partner and you've shared your partner, and also coming to terms with your sexuality and being pansexual. Obviously, our appearance has such a massive part to play, at least initially, in what it means to date and what it means to judge people and find them attractive or not, or this or that. It feels like the most hyper exposing part of life that we all kind of go through. Was there I guess what was the element that your body and your perception of yourself played into either coming to terms with your sexuality or just beginning dating?
I think for the majority of my dating life, bearing in mind that I thought I was straight for the majority of my dating life. Now I have a girlfriend.
Detour.
Desirability was the utmost priority. It was make myself physically desirable, aesthetically pleasing to men, for men, in order to gain their attention. And that was validation. That meant that I was good enough in some.
God, I feel like I now can stop doing that. I mean, we all can, but there's so many things in place to feel like we can't. And it's the only way that we can get worth and we can get, validation that we are desired. And so it must have been so freeing to, think like, oh, why am I? Oh, yeah, I don't need to do this.
Big time. And you know what? since I have, I guess in a big way, decentered men in the most significant way, I just no longer date them at all. I have been able to step into such a more authentic version of myself. My relationships are better. I can have now better friendships with men because there is not this undertone of you must be attracted to me. I must be attracted to you.
Yes.
That's been beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, I don't pin my worth on what men think of me. I can stand up for myself better. I can express my emotions better. Like I'm more physically comfortable all the time, every day. Decentering men is something that I think every single woman needs to do in this relentlessly patriarchal world.
And it goes so, it's right down to the core of literally as soon as you can talk, it's like there's elements of it. And so it's such a journey, but I think also learning that your worth is not derived from that may feel like it. It's like you can't win either way. It's like if you have it and you've been told and validated by men your whole life, you believe that's the only way your value exists.
100%.
And I talk to my friends about that all the time. I actually did a whole episode on it because it's such a big topic to unpack. But then equally, if you've never had it, you believe you are never that.
Right.
And then there's so much comparison of the in-between where so much of growing up as a teen is like, oh, who have you got a crush on? Like, oh, does he like you? Does she like you? Like, it's so much of that. So when you have that, you believe your value comes from that. When you're just used to being, you know, the person that people like. But when you don't have that, it's the what's wrong with me? Like, what can I do to change myself? It is so much that. Yeah. And I think we'd all be so much better off and so much happier in general as a society, male, female, everyone, if like we could all just set in stone ways that our value does not come from, you know, the worry about dating and needing
being chosen
it's
by
exactly
someone else.
That it's exactly being chosen. And in my episode I talk about that, how like I was told I was inspiring and lovely and kind, but I was never told I was beautiful, right? Or like picked. It was boys coming up to me about my friends, right? And so it's learning unlearning those things is when you're able to, that's it exactly, like come into yourself more.
100%.
And again, it's an unlearning.
It is, and it's breaking away from the narrative that we are princesses waiting to be saved. Yeah. Which is so disempowering.
The Disney tropes are there from as old as time. Yeah. I knew this would be such a good conversation, and honestly, we could go on for so long. I now want to just round off with a couple more quick questions.
Yes, okay.
I'm not going to say quick fire because you know what? Like, they can be as quick as you want them to be.
Lovely.
But slightly more just short, like, answer questions.
Yes, okay.
What's your comfort routine when you feel like you're spiraling but trying to come back to grounding or normality? It could be a snack you like, a film or series you watch, whether you go for a walk. Like, is there anything that you kind of try and pull out of your toolbox when you're like, I need to just feel, you know, safe right now?
When I go into complete shutdown mode, it has to be comfortable elasticated clothes.
Yeah.
But as soon as I get home, it's joggers, you know, or pajamas.
Yeah.
Orange squash, got to be hydrated.
Oh, I love
the dog next to me, and just some comfort TV film, something that I've watched a million times.
Oh,
but it's colourful.
I honestly rarely go back, like, watch new things.
Yeah, I need the comfort.
What are you watching?
So probably my most rewatched recently is Superstore, which
I love Superstore. Anything like that, I love. Superstore, The Office. Yeah. Like, there's one called Abbott Elementary that I'm obsessed with.
Abbott Elementary is fantastic.
So good.
Just anything where I feel like these are my friends. Yeah. This world is simple. Yeah. Let me just go into this world.
You're in an office or a store or a school.
Switch off.
Or like, I'm obsessed with Modern Family. Like,
have you ever watched that?
Oh, I think you'd enjoy.
Okay.
It's a family, but like different families within the family.
Okay.
It's really good. Lots of seasons of it. So that's my.
Oh, that's what we like.
Yeah. Honestly, I fall asleep. I can't fall asleep in silence. Oh. Yeah, ever. I haven't for the last like God knows how long. So it's normally the Modern Family, Superstore, or The Office. That's my.
Okay, I'll check it.
One of the few. Okay, next one. What's a ridiculous hill you'll die on?
If human beings were meant to roller skate, we would have been born with wheels on our feet.
Oh.
I'm sorry, it's unnatural. Yeah. It's not right. This is obviously I can't do it.
Nightmare.
I'm terrified. But why should I be able to do it, right? Yeah. Evolutionary wise, I haven't been born with wheels on my feet, so why should I be able to skate?
I feel the same about ice skating.
Yes.
Like Bambi on ice. It's just, it's not happening.
I want my feet firmly planted on the ground. Thank you.
Yeah. I feel ungrounded enough. I don't need some rollers or skates on my feet. Thanks you very much. Yeah.
Why are we the same person?
I know we are. This is why I knew this would work so well. You're literally me. Okay. If you could ban one trend forever, beauty, wellness, social media or even just a stupid other thing, what would it be?
Oh, there's too many. I want to ban. Honestly, I would quite like to ban all the trends because I don't think that anything, whether it is like a body size or fashion, nothing should be a trend.
Yeah.
Every person should just be completely uniquely, authentically themselves, however that looks, like what they genuinely like, not what's in style, not what's the trend.
Yeah.
And stop with this endless cycle of overconsumption and changing trends and this 1 minute and that the next.
Because then something's in, but then it's out. And your body should never be that.
And it's just wasteful. Like, it's harmful, it's wasteful.
Yeah.
Get rid of all the trends.
Yeah.
All of
Preach. Them. I also agree with that.
I also really hate butter yellow, I'm just going to say. Not on your nails. Your nails are lovely.
That's the way you went. Fussy. I was like,
that was accidental.
Yeah, do you know what? I also agree. Like, no, on my nails, fair, because it's like mixed with other stuff.
Pastels.
But yeah, I agree with that. I don't own anything butter yellow.
Yeah.
I hope, we're not calling anyone out. But if we are, we are. Sorry.
If you genuinely love it, keep it. Keep it, babes.
You.
Keep it.
Okay, last one. What's your pettiest red flag or like ick in a romantic or platonic relationship?
Ooh. I talk about this with my girlfriend quite a lot. How you treat people who you perceive you can't benefit from. So how you would treat like the waiter at a restaurant or your taxi driver, you know, how you treat those people says so much about you, and the slightest bit of superiority, I'm better than you, you don't deserve politeness.
Oh yeah,
ick.
You're gone.
Done.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah, literally. Someone could be like, you could see someone up here, but as soon as they do that, it's not happening.
Yeah.
That's such a good way to see it. I've always given the example of like service staff, but never that it's that you can't get anything from them. That is so interesting. That's so true. Wow. Enlightened. This has been so good. I love you. And I'm so grateful that you've come. And I know that all of our listeners are going to benefit so much from this in so many ways. I feel like we've like covered 1,000 different topics, but in the best way. We always do when we see each other, because there's always just so much, like so many things to cover, so many bases. We always finish Live a Little by doing a little thought of the week.
Okay.
So this could either be something that you've like small that you've been pondering about this week that's been your fixation, or it could be, I don't know, what is a quote that could be a little thought that people could kind of put in their pocket that you have kind of instilled in your daily life, or a reminder?
Something that I have been saying to myself a lot lately is the time will pass anyway. So whether you get up and you're horrible to yourself from morning till night, punish yourself, tell yourself you're not good enough, or whether you get up and you try to be kind to yourself, you try to treat yourself gently, the time's going to pass anyway. It's up to you, babes. You can spend it tearing yourself to pieces. It's still going to pass. So you know what? You might as well try the other thing and pass it that way.
That's beautiful. It's kind of this whole idea of like the sun will still rise tomorrow, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
I love that. It's beautiful. Finally, the last thing we do is we end every episode with, as always, remember to be kind to yourself and live a little. So as you are today's guest, I would love you to just look down the camera and tell that to our listeners.
It's so cute. It's such a good idea. As always, remember to be kind to yourself and live a little.
Yeah.